Welcome to The Explainer. Sometimes the most profound lessons come from the simplest stories. Today, we're going to dig into a classic fable you probably remember from when you were a kid. But we're not just retelling it. Oh no, we're going to treat it like a masterclass in strategy.
And really, that's the big question, isn't it? How can this quirky little tale about a cap seller and some mischievous monkeys actually give us a powerful new way to look at our own challenges? Well, it turns out it's all about tackling problems not with force, but with some clever observation.
All right, so first things first, let's set the scene. Because with any great strategic move, you have to understand the context. You have to know what the situation was before everything went sideways.
So, picture this. We've got our main character, a simple cap seller. He's been out all day selling his caps, and he's just exhausted. He's made a few sales, but now the sun is high, he's tired, and he spots this big, inviting tree. Perfect place for a quick nap, right? So he settles in, and before he knows it, he's fast asleep. Pretty normal so far. And this, right here, is where a totally normal day turns into a complete crisis. He wakes up from his nap thinking he'll just get back to it, but that is not what happens.
Can you even imagine the shock? He opens his eyes, looks at his basket, and it's totally empty. All his caps are gone. He looks up into the tree, and there they are. Dozens of monkeys, just chilling in the branches, and every single one of them is wearing one of his caps. His entire business, his whole inventory, is literally hanging out in a tree.
So what's his first reaction? Well, he does what most of us would probably do when we're panicked and angry. He goes straight to brute force. And as you're about to see, it's a spectacular failure.
You can almost see it playing out, right? It just becomes this pointless, escalating fight. He yells at the monkeys, they just screech and chatter right back at him, even louder. He gets angrier, starts throwing stones up at them, and what do? They start throwing mangoes back down at him. He's just matching their chaos with his own chaos, and it is getting him absolutely nowhere.
But then, something changes. He's frustrated, he's out of ideas, and he just stops. He stops reacting and starts watching. And honestly, this little pause, this is the most important moment in the entire story.
And that's when the light bulb goes off. It suddenly clicks. The monkeys aren't just being difficult for the sake of it, they're copying him. They're mirroring everything he does. His anger was just creating more of their chaos. His actions were directly causing their reactions.
And that's the key, right there. Imitation. The very behavior that was the source of his entire problem, he realizes it's also the key to the solution. He's just discovered the secret rule of the game he's been playing.
You see, this is a massive shift in his thinking. He realizes he can't change the nature of the monkeys. They're monkeys. They're going to imitate things. But what he can change is the behavior they have to imitate. The obstacle wasn't the enemy. It was his own strategy.
Okay, so he's had his big idea. Now what does he do with it? Let's watch how he turns this one simple insight into a brilliant and honestly super effective plan. This is where wisdom gets put into action. The plan he comes up with is just beautiful in its simplicity. So he had one cap left, the one he was wearing. Instead of picking up another stone, he does something completely different. He very deliberately takes off his own cap and throws it down on the ground. He gives them a new action to copy, a better action.
And what do you know? It works. It works perfectly. The monkeys, being monkeys, do exactly what they just saw him do. One by one, they all take off the stolen caps and throw them down to the grass. All the seller has to do is calmly walk around, collect his entire inventory, and go on his way. Problem solved.
So, let's zoom out. What's the big lesson here for all of us? This is way more than just a clever little story. You can actually see it as a framework for thinking differently about the problems we all run into.
The official moral of the story really says it all. Think about it. The seller's weapons of war, his shouting, the stones, they were completely useless. His wisdom was just taking a breath, observing the situation, and coming up with a smarter strategy. In the end, it was brain power that won, not brute force. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, a question for you. Think about a problem you're dealing with right now, maybe something that's really frustrating you. Are you just throwing stones at it, yelling at it, and hoping it goes away? Or is there a hidden pattern, a key insight you're missing? Could you maybe solve it not by fighting harder, but just by changing your own approach?